Disney is my happy place, but there are a few things that I wish they would change. And here are 5 things I think that Disney could do right now to make guests a little bit more happy. Number 1 on my list is a big one, and that is to finish Tron. An end date really needs to be given for this attraction. They first announced that Tron was coming here. It already exists in Shanghai Disneyland. They announced it was coming here in 2017. They broke ground, I believe, in about 2018. 2019, the ride finally started to go vertical. So we saw a lot more upwards momentum for the ride. And then, the pandemic hit. So I realized that construction was paused for a little bit. And, that kind of delayed things. But here we are now in 2022, and we still do not have an opening date for this attraction. That is a long time. This is not an attraction that is brand new, like the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, which already does have an end date. We know that it's opening in summer of 2022. This Tron is not new. There's already an attraction, Shanghai Disneyland, so it's not like they had to create this brand new ride. Also, it is taking longer than the original Magic Kingdom took to be built. I don't know why it's taking so long, and I think they kind of really owe it to the fans to give us a firm date, tell us when it's going to open, and really that should be sometime this year. I can't understand why it's still closed, to be honest. I'm not an architect, I'm not an engineer, but it definitely should be open by now. It's also holding up the Walt Disney World Railroad. So because of the construction on Tron, the railroad has been closed down the entire time as well. And I really miss the railroad. I miss going on a trip around the park. And so it's taking that away from the park as well. So we need a date. Number 2, I think that they should get rid of Park Reservations. I understand the benefit of Park Reservations for the company. They can discover how many people are coming. They can also manage crowds by only having a certain number of reservations available for the parks. But most of them that I've seen really haven't filled up, at least lately haven't filled up to a point where nobody can get in. And so I understand that aspect of it. You can plan your, hours of employment around how many people you're seeing coming based on Park Reservations and all that. However, that is not beneficial to the guests. I can see Park Reservations being a perk for special times of year. For example, October 1st for the 50th, the big day for the 50th, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, dates where you're gonna have a lot of guests coming to the park who are planning probably their vacation around being able to get into Magic Kingdom or Epcot or wherever they particularly want to go on that special holiday. So I think Park Reservations would be a great idea for certain times of year or certain dates of year, like holiday dates. But for the rest of the year, I really think that it kind of holds back the flexibility of a vacation. And as someone who loves to plan, I understand planning is great, but I also have grown to really love flexibility. And even with making dining reservations and Fast Pass Plus reservations that you used to be able to make, you were still able to have flexibility. We could wake up and go to whatever park we wanted. And sometimes we did that. We would say, all right, well, we have dinner reservations here later, but let's get to the bus stop. And whatever is the first bus that comes, that's what park we're going to today. And that was really kind of fun, but you can't do that anymore. The flexibility is kind of gone, and park reservations in that aspect are kind of frustrating, to say the least. Also, the idea of being able to park hop but not till 2 is also kind of frustrating, because then you're limiting your time again, and putting a lot of time restraints on a vacation doesn't make it relaxing. So I would like to see them get rid of park reservations, except for maybe certain times of the year. I can definitely be on board with the busiest times of year and the times where they really kind of need to make sure that they spread out the guests into different parks. I can understand that. But for a majority of the year, I don't think they're necessary anymore. Number 3, I'd like to see them get rid of virtual queues and the lightning lane. Now, I know that virtual queues have pretty much dissolved. Remy's Ratatouille Adventures gone to standby, but they could change that at any point in time. And I'd like to see that kind of go away. I'd like to see lightning lane transition into something else. I go back and forth between liking and not liking the idea of Fast Pass. When I first went back right at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, during the summer when they first reopened, it was nice not to have to plan anything, including Fast Pass. And I was able to enjoy everything probably a little bit even more because the day was just so flexible. I like the idea of lightning lane. I have not personally used it yet, but I do like the idea of it. I just don't like how it's set up. So we used to put our phones in the locker or in the safe back at the room. As soon as we got to Walt Disney World, we locked them up, and we would check them in the evening in case family had to reach us or anything like that. But we always locked them up. And I realized that times are changing, but I hate the idea of really being attached to my phone all day to do everything. And I do use it for pictures and things like that. However, to have to manage your, Fast Pass and mobile order and everything, and virtual queue all on your phone, I wish they would do something different. I don't like to compare Walt Disney World to Universal, but how they work their Fast Pass program, I think, is much better. Their Express Pass, it's not Fast Pass. Now, there is a price difference. People say, oh, well, $15 for the lightning lane versus like $100 plus, because it depends on what day you're traveling to Universal, how much the actual Express Pass is per person per day. Let's just call it 100. So 100 versus 15. However, there are many things I don't have to do with that Express Pass. I do not have to make reservations. I do not have to use my phone. I do not have to only use it at one attraction one time. I can use it as much as I want. And that makes for a very relaxing vacation. We went to Universal for the first time last summer and used the Express Pass. We had it with our hotel, which was a nice perk of deluxe hotel at Universal. And we were able to use it for, let's say, if we liked one attraction a lot, we could go on that many times with the Express Pass. And if there was something else that we didn't care for, I didn't like Spider-Man, then we didn't have to go on it again. But with the Disney version, even though it's cheap, sometimes you get what you pay for, you're not guaranteed any of the lightning lane attractions. If, for example, Slinky Dog Dash doesn't have any availability, then you can't use it. You're not guaranteed any of the lightning lane attractions. You have to pick certain times of the day, which, again, the flexibility is gone when you have to do that. You have to plan around what time am I going to get there. And you can't go back once you've used it. So once I use the lightning lane on Haunted Mansion or wherever you're going to use it for, once you use the Lightning Lane, you can't come back. That's it. You've used it once. So even though it's cheaper at $15, there's a lot of things that could definitely be fixed about it. So I would like to see them get rid of things digitally and possibly move them to something that you can do a little bit in a little bit more relaxed way, but still have, you know, similar benefits. So I don't say get rid of it completely. It would also be nice if they did add in bonuses like inclusion of their new and improved Fast Pass with the deluxe hotels, for example. Something where it's, you know, there's some benefits for staying on property. Like at Universal, when you stay at their deluxe hotels, the Fast Pass is included. And yes, the hotel was pricey and we decided that we were going to splurge for that hotel last summer, but it definitely was a nice perk to have. Which brings me to number 4, which is to add more perks for staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel. Currently, the only perks are the transportation and the early entry, which is about a half an hour before the park actually opens to the public. These are really the only 2 perks for staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel. The other perk is being immersed in Disney while you're on Disney property, which is something that my family and I like to do because we just really want to be completely in the magic. So you do have that, but transportation really isn't even a perk that's a benefit for staying on property because anyone, no matter what hotel you're staying at, can use the Walt Disney World transportation. Also, they just got rid of Magical Express, which took you from Orlando International Airport to your Walt Disney World Resort Hotel, which was a free service for staying on property. And they just got rid of that. So now the benefits are actually kind of shrinking. And the benefit of getting to the park a half an hour early is nice, but it used to be, believe, an hour early. And so that even shrank a little bit. So it would be nice for Disney to make more benefits of staying on property with so many hotels in the area, so many places to choose from, and a lot are, you know, pretty decently priced as well. You have so many other options that I think Disney really needs to kind of step it up in, you know, making the guests who are staying on property feel even more special for staying on property. Finally, number 5, Disney needs to bring back all the extras. And I mean all the extras, all the dessert parties, all the tours, all the events, all the shows, all the restaurants, all the everything. I realize that it's a staffing issue and this happened, you know, when the pandemic hit and everything kind of just fell apart. But there's no reason why we're not moving back towards that now. And they're moving back towards that. Tours are starting in February, a few tours, and the dessert parties are coming back. So things are coming back, but everything needs to be back. We need everything back. There shouldn't be a guess of, you know, is this show back? Is this show available? Is this attraction open? Everything just needs to be back. And as an actual extra bonus for everything since prior to the pandemic, Disney needs to bring back a nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom. I think that we deserve it at this point in time. It's been way too long, been 5 years, I believe, if I did my math correct. It's been about 5 years since we had a nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom. For me, remembering back to my youth, that was what I most looked forward to. It just made it Magic Kingdom to me, and I think they need to bring that back. I don't care if they bring Paint the Night from California or they create their own very brand new parade, never been seen before. It doesn't matter. Bring me a parade. Not at just Christmas time or a special time of year. I want an evening parade every night. So I think that would be the nice cherry on top that Disney could do. I've been to Walt Disney World many times since they reopened, since the pandemic, and there's magic there. There's definitely still magic there. I still feel like it's my happy place, and it's a wonderful place to go. But I do think there are a few things that could change or be made differently to make it even more magical, to make it the magic place that it once was. To me, it's not at that level of magic that it once was, even if it's still magical. And I don't think there's like major things that Disney needs to do in order to bring it back to that level, but it's time to bring it back to that level. So these are a few things that I've been thinking about recently. And, what are your thoughts? Have you been back to Walt Disney World since they reopened? And is there anything that you think that they could do to make it even more magical? Or do you think it's perfect as it is? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. And until next time, go out and find your magic. Bye-bye.